In this video, I am going to be making a guide on how to PvP more effectively as a druid in Dungeonborne. So in this clip here, I'm just going to see a kind of caster from pretty far away. I was just kind of looking for someone because I had cleared out a couple of areas and not seen anyone. And I had a pretty good vantage point up there, so I was just looking around and taking in my surroundings. Then I see this person fighting a bat or something. I think they have also just killed a rat. I put a tree behind them because I don't want them to escape, and that does also do a little bit of instant damage to them as well. Then obviously they get out of the tree's range, and I pounce on them with the panther, and then they're dead. So all I did there was cast at them from far away. Obviously, getting the jump on someone while they're fighting mobs is always going to be beneficial, regardless of what class you're going to play, at least for the most part. So take them by surprise. Start the fight off with a couple of like zaps from your staff. If you've got a lightning staff, the same thing is going to apply, but maybe you'd want to do it when they're in like a more kind of closed-in area if it's a lightning staff, but I had a pyro staff there, so that was no problem. I put a tree behind them because I wanted them to kind of panic about going behind them, and obviously they're also a caster, so it's not really going to be in their best interest to push me like they can, and then we just have a 1v1 up close. But like, if you're a caster, you want to be far away from someone else. You don't want to go up close, unless you're the druid, in which case you can go up close actually as a panther. But I knew they were a cryo mage because I could see they were holding a staff, and because I could see they were a skeleton. So I really didn't think that they were going to push me, and even if they did push me, it wouldn't have been good for them. So I put the tree behind them so that they would go backwards into it. Maybe you would get like an extra hit on them. And then once they were already low from both the zaps from the casting, and then also the tree, the Trent I think it's called, I just finished them with the panther form. So I pressed Q to go into panther form, and then I pounced on them, which does a lot of damage, and then they were just dead. Maybe they were a little bit low from the enemies as well. I think they didn't use any of their abilities. Maybe they were both on cooldown from killing the enemies, but they could have turned into a block of ice to heal themselves. They also could have used their ice storm, but I think they were just kind of panicking for the most part. So that fight just went very well for me. In this next match, I hear someone through this door, and so I'm just going to go and open it. If someone's fighting, you might as well just go fight them if you want to PvP. It's going to be best to engage in a fight when someone's already fighting something. So here they are. I put the tree down. I think this is also a druid, so they put their tree down. We hit each other with our trees. They use their lightning staff. I'm using my pyro staff, though, and I do think the pyro staff in most situations is going to be a lot better. I'm able to hit them with a lot more zaps. They throw something at me. I use my panther form to both get out of whatever they threw at me, in case it was like an AoE type thing that I would be standing in, which wouldn't be good. It also allowed me to get out of the range of the tree, and then I pounced on them as well, which both does damage to them and gets me close to them, and then I think I attacked them a little bit with my normal attacks in panther form and just finished them off. So in that fight, I used a lot more zaps of my pyro staff to do a lot more damage to them than they did with their lightning staff. Lightning staffs really aren't going to be good in like most situations unless you really know what you're doing as like a cryomancer, and like you slow someone and then use both like zaps of the lightning staff. Unless it's that very specific situation, I think the pyro staff is just going to be a lot better. So I was just able to do more damage to them with my pyro staff, and then I used my tree well. They used their tree as well, but I don't know, like I used my tree. That hit them. I used my staff to hit them a bunch, whereas they only hit me a little bit with their lightning staff. Then they tried to run away, and then I just chased them down with the panther form. Panther form is very, very good for two things. Thing number one is running away if you're low, and thing number two is finishing someone off if they're low. Both very, very, very good to do. Anyway, I'm gonna go into the next fight, which starts right about here. So I don't think I knew anyone was behind this door, and then suddenly there's just a cryomancer there. Obviously they're using their ice storm to try and slow me, and then they do try and hit me with some lightning staffs, I think. I'm kind of expecting that because it's quite typical to pair that with the lightning staff, so I immediately go into panther form and then just jump away so I maintain most of my health. I have a healing potion already, so I don't need to drink one. Always pay attention to whether or not you have a healing potion already. I'm not too sure how they have a second ice storm already. That was quite surprising to me. I'm thinking maybe they cancelled it or something, and maybe you have it again if you cancel it. I genuinely don't know, but they have a lot of ice storms here. It seems to be lasting forever. I'm not too sure what's going on with that, so I just have to deal with that. They try and lightning me again. I just turn into panther form and jump away again because you don't want to get hit by all four of the lightning zaps, I was going to try and bandage, but then they just go straight past the tree, which I was not expecting because that's going to be constantly hitting them. And now I'm figuring they must be low because I think they've got hit by the Trent a couple of times. So again, just when you think someone's low, that's when you go into Panther form. You go and pounce on them for like 130 damage or something pretty high like that, and then just finish them off with a couple of normal attacks. So their problem in that game was that they tried to fight me while standing in the circle of the Trent. And if you stand in the circle of the Trent, that's going to do a lot of damage to you over time. You really don't want to do that. If someone uses a Trent on you, you need to get out of there ASAP. I also have no idea how they had the Ice Storm so many times. It seemed to me in that fight they had like 3 Ice Storms. Maybe they were just cancelling it before it reached its final stage or something. I'm really not too sure what was going on with that. But either way, I ended up winning that fight. So again, just Trent in a place where you're going to kind of run through or stay away from. So like in that fight, you would have seen I placed the Trent between me and the opponent so they couldn't push any closer, so they couldn't hit me with the lightning staffs or the Ice Storm, right? So I placed the Trent, and then I also used that Trent to kind of put distance between me and the enemy, and then they tried to push me, but they pushed me through the Trent, which wasn't good. Also, map knowledge was good in that fight. I went on top of like the bridge or something at some point to, I don't know, to like run away or heal or something. So map knowledge is also always helpful. So this is actually going to be a longer fight against a sword master, I think. I do like to have diversity when I make these videos, so this is going to be like a pretty dragged out fight. So I just see this person over here. I heard them ages before, and then I slowly made my way towards them. I took out some enemies, and now I heard them this way. They just tried running straight away. Obviously, I'm holding out my healing potion so that I can run faster. They tried using their E ability, but they didn't use it when they were close to me, so that's not the right time to use the E ability as a swordmaster. Maybe they tried to use it on the AI or something, I genuinely don't know. But I am actually quite low here from like one of these crossbows goblins, so you gotta watch your health, because sometimes the AI will just get you to like half health, and if you don't heal, that's gonna be bad. So I drink a healing potion. I'm pretty sure this person's going to be quite low though, so I just really go for it. And I am able to eliminate them. Also, as the Panther form, you have your E ability back really, really quickly, which means if you suddenly start thinking you might die up close to the Swordmaster, you can just pounce out of there. So that was my plan there. I engaged in that fight up close because I thought they would be low, and if I got too low myself, then I would probably pounce back out of the area and then try and finish them off with a Fire Staff or something. I also didn't use my Trent that well in that fight, so really I just kept zapping them. I started the fight off with like a couple of zaps, probably zapped them some more. I think I used the Trent. They tried running, and then I zapped them some more. I took a little bit of damage from a goblin or something. I drank a healing potion, but you'll see I didn't stay too far away for too long, because obviously I don't want them to heal up that much either. I don't want them to pop a bandage off or something like that, because then they'd basically be back to full, which wouldn't be good. So I took like a little break to drink a healing potion, and then I went into Panther form because I didn't want their heals to kick in, which they were probably using, and then I just finished them off with Panther form, and that was pretty much it. This is the same match as the previous fight. I see and hear this person through this door. I pop a tree so that they're going to try and back out, so the tree's going to do some damage. I'm able to hit them a little bit with the fire staff. I walk past my own tree, turn into Panther, jump on them, and now I'm just going to try and finish them off with the Panther form. A little bit low from my Trent already, I assume. They do use Whirlwind. I'm really fast as a Panther, so I simply just run away from that. You don't want to get caught in that. And then I'm able to finish them off. So Panther, even if you don't use the Pounce, has absolutely insane mobility. So I'm able to just like fully run away while they're using that Whirlwind there. They probably should have tried to use their dash to catch up to me when I was trying to run away, but maybe they didn't have that on cooldown or something, I'm not so sure. So start off the fight with a Trent. I knew they were going to be through that door, so I had that Trent ready to go. Zap them a little bit. That's already like 200 damage. Pounce on them with a Panther form, that's like 330 damage, and then I do a little bit more with a couple of basic attacks, so I probably did like 450 damage really, really, really quickly there. And then they used their Whirlwind. I ran away a little bit. Once Whirlwind was done, I went back and just finished them off. And I think I was still pretty much full after I had already done about like 450 damage to them. So just start off the fight with like a bunch of damage, and then run away if you need to. Regen your health a little bit, because if you're not that low, you're going to be able to regen more health than they are. And then just go back in for the kill, really. So yeah, generally you want to start off the fight with a trend and a couple of zaps from whatever staff you have, preferably fire staff though, because I think those are going to pair a lot better for the druid. So you basically want to start off the fight with a lot of kind of burst damage, and then finish them off with more staff, and then probably like a pounce from a panther form, and then just some basic attacks with the panther form, and then maybe by then you'll have the cooldown on the Trent done, in which case you could place another one. But I think generally if you start off the fight well, it's going to be very, very, very easy to chase someone down and finish them off as the Panther. The lovely thing about the Druid as well is if you don't really like PvP and if you just want to run away and just like loot and kill the NPCs and then get out of the area, this is probably going to be the best class for that, because you can just like outrun pretty much anything else unless you're also getting chased by another druid. So this is very, very good for like disengaging and just not fighting as well, if that's going to be for you. As for the perks, seed pods is pretty good. You basically just have a second Trent. I think this does have a short cooldown, but it is possible to have 2 Trents down at once. So if you have that on, and someone's in like a bad spot, if you put like one behind them and one in front of them and then zap them with the staff, that's gonna be like 300 damage straight away. So this can definitely be pretty powerful. I think that's probably going to be my favorite perk. And 45 will is not that much will to get. I don't think anything else is going to be that fantastic. The shield, actually, Force of Nature's Trent gains a 150 point shield when summoned. That's okay, but right now the Trent does actually have like a lot of health. So if you're playing in solos, which I'm obviously playing in solos in all of these videos, then I don't think this is going to be that useful, because you'd have to like really attack the Trent for it to go away. So I don't think the shield is going to be so valuable for solos, because if someone's attacking the Trent, then you can probably just be attacking them. And predatory senses, where you can sense enemy players with a radius of 30 meters, that's okay, but I feel like you're just going to be able to hear them. You know, like I feel like if someone's quite close to you, you're just gonna hear them. Like in all of these videos, I think in most of them, all of the clips in this video, I mean, except the Cryomancer, I just heard someone first. So I had no need really to kind of enter my Panther form to sense someone. So you can go with this if you maybe don't have like the best audio or something like that. I'm not actually too sure how far away 30 meters is versus how far away the hearing range is. So this definitely could be useful. But I'm very okay with just being able to hear people, and I personally would much rather have the Force of Nature. But 30 meters might actually be quite far. It might actually be longer than the hearing range, and if that's the case, then this would certainly be quite good, especially if you want to like go and PvP people and just look for them and look to take fights. So I would say seed pods and predatory senses are both going to be very good. And then I don't think anything else is going to be so fantastic, either just because it doesn't seem like a great perk, or because it takes a lot of you know, like levels to get up to. Like Hunter's Focus, that takes 81 intelligence, which is quite a lot, and it's not going to be the best thing ever. So I say C-pods and predatory senses for the passives there. So, and also do go for fire stuff if you can, because I think unless you're a Cryomancer, fire staff is just going to be better in most situations. The really nice thing about the Druid as well, I haven't mentioned yet, is that they're going to be the best caster for taking out AI and NPCs, and the reason for that is because the Trent doesn't use any of your mana. It's not mana. It doesn't use any of your like shadow energy. So you can just put a Trent down in like every room you clear, and then just zap them with a staff or something. And that's going to get rid of the enemies real quick. And again, it doesn't use any shadow energy, which is very valuable. But if you like play Cryomancer and you use like the Ice Storm, that uses energy, which you can obviously replenish quite easily, but it still uses energy. If you're a Pyromancer and you shoot a Fireball, that uses energy, and so on. But this, it doesn't use anything. It's just on cooldown, so you can just use this in pretty much every single room that you clear, which does allow for much faster room clearing, especially as a caster, because they tend to clear rooms quite slowly unless they use a lot of their resources. So yeah, there you go. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to be it for this video. If you liked it, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Farewell.